There's never been a more anticipated recession than the one we're waiting for now. Hello and thank you for watching. We've been waiting for this recession for some time now. Not one company that I know of is saying that we're going to be able to avoid a recession. It's not if a recession's coming, but when is a recession coming? Well, with the jobs report coming in better than expected, I don't know how, but it did. And the CPI data that was just released this morning, who knows? Maybe we should be reversing course, right? Maybe we should be going back to not just when, but if a recession's coming. Let's go ahead and take a look at the CPI data that came out this morning. All right, so here's the CPI data. A couple of things to take note of is obviously this is year over year, 5%. What that's saying is that the government takes this basket of goods, and with that basket of goods, they measure how much things cost. And what they're saying here is the price of goods is based off of that basket is 5% higher this year than it was this time last year. But we don't want to look at that number per se. Now, the Fed does look at that number, obviously, because they're wanting to get that number to 2%. Truth is you're not going to get that number to 2% anytime soon. And if you do get it 2%, it's only because we've done a major contracting on the economy side. But what you want to look at is right here. It's trending down. What they're saying is the prices have gone up from February to March by only 0.1%. That's nothing. That's absolutely nothing. And that's the way we want things to be trending, is trending down for the most part. Now, I do take these CPI reports or any government reports. Numbers can be skewed, and however you want them to. People say data can't be skewed, but data can very much be skewed. And the reason why is because when somebody's political ambitions get in the way, and sometimes you can make things happen. Now, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but I take a look at it, and they're saying food did not raise at all month over month. Oh man, I don't know about that. They're saying food at home went down by 0.3%. I don't think anything's gone down. I don't think any single company, even if they got the produce cheaper, they still need to save for a rainy day, right? Because there have been some rainy days. So even if they got the produce cheaper, Fry's, Safeway, whomever, I believe that they're still selling at the same price. I don't believe that they're lowering prices whatsoever. Food away from home, up 0.6%. All right. But nevertheless, as you can see, look, these things are trending pretty good. Oil and fuel. The problem with oil and fuel right now, though, the government doesn't pay that much attention to oil and fuel because, as a matter of fact, it's not even included in core inflation. And it's because there's so many outside factors that can affect the fuel. If you guys have heard about Saudi Arabia, they are reducing the amount of fuel that they're outputting. So you got Russia already, who is not selling to half the freaking world already. Now you got Saudi Arabia, or OPEC, I should say, OPEC, that's reducing fuel. And why are they reducing fuel? Because these numbers, right? This is a hit. They went down. They don't want fuel to go down. They want fuel prices to go up. How do you make fuel prices go up? You make them go up by having less fuel, which just creates more demand. And with more demand, you get the raised prices. So this number that we're seeing of, negative 14, negative 17, that can go up. That by next month, that number could be 0, could be 2%, 3%. We don't know. We got to figure out what going to end up playing with Saudi Arabia. So although those numbers are great, we don't expect that too much moving forward. Then you got all items less food and energy, 0.56%. This is good right here. Used cars, negative 11.2%. That is really, really good. And then even here, this is a surprise. That actually went up for new cars. But 6.1%, I mean, let's be honest, new car prices last year were ridiculous. They were charging service fees to purchase a car. It's absolutely ridiculous. And to say that the prices are still up by 6% more now than this time last year, that's not good. But the used cars, that's great. And then let's go down to transportation services. That's up higher, 13.9%. That's huge. And if you're looking at it, this is trending in the wrong direction. That's going up. It's actually been going up. Look at it's gone up from here, here. That is not good at all. But what are you going to do? Shelter, 0.8% higher this year than it was last year. The good thing is month over month, it doesn't have much of a change, right? That's about 0.5% month over month. And then this right here is surprising, but good for the medical services. All right. So what does this mean? What are we trying to accomplish here? Well, we want to take a look at what we think is going to happen towards the end of the year. But before even the end of the year, what's going to even happen next month? And I'll get back to the end of the year here in a second. Next month, on May 3rd, the Fed meets to figure out whether they're going to raise the Fed funds rate or not. A lot of that number will be based off of GDP. GDP numbers, gross domestic product, comes out on the 27th of this month. So they're going to take the jobs report, they're going to take the CPI report, they're going to take the GDP report, and obviously a bunch of other reports because they're really smart people. And that will determine whether they are going to raise the Fed funds rate on May 3rd or leave it alone. Now, there's two ways to look at this, right? If they decide not to raise the Fed funds rate, the only real reason to not raise it is because they think that a recession is right around the corner, like right there. Or they think that a lot of bad news is about to come out, meaning more banks are about to fail. If more banks fail, that can lead to a huge recession. And if they do not raise the Fed funds rate by 0.25%, just know that the Fed is anticipating something bad happening. And listen, you don't want to raise the Fed funds rate if something really bad is about to happen, because you're doubling down, right? That would double down on the recession. Now, if the Fed does raise the Fed's funds rate by 0.25%, then what they're saying is we don't believe recession is imminent. It's not right here, right now yet. But that doesn't mean that's not going to be coming later on, 3, 4, 5 months from now. So there's a lot to look at there. And of course, the long term is the sooner we're in recession, thinking 3, 4, 5 months from now, the sooner mortgage rates come down. All right. And, mortgage rates is what a lot of people who are listening to me are hoping for. Now, listen, the second mortgage rates come down, you're going to lose, as a buyer, you're going to lose a lot of your purchasing power. And the reason is because a lot of people are sitting on the sidelines because they cannot afford a rate at 5, 6, 7%. Right. But once the rates start to come down, then everyone's going to jump back into the pool. So now you're not competing with 2 or 3 buyers. You're competing with 15, 16, 17 buyers. And whenever a house has, multiple offers, they're going to take the best offer, which means all of a sudden they're not going to help pay for closing costs. They're not going to lower the price of the home by a couple of $1,000s. They're not going to say you get 60 days to move in. You got to close in 20 days. Then they're going to have all the power. The listing side almost has the power right now. It's not a buyer's market at the moment. Once the rates come down, it definitely won't be a buyer's market. So my suggestion to you is, if you can afford to purchase now comfortably, purchase now, and when the rates drop, go ahead and refinance, right? Because if you're getting closing costs paid for, that's saving you anywhere between $6,000 to $8,000 out of your pocket, just like that. That's a huge savings. And I would venture to say that that's better to do that, get the house you want for the price that you want, for the closing costs, hopefully that you get to save, then when it comes down to everybody competing for that same house, you're not going to get nearly that deal. You'll overpay again, and then you're going to lose out on all that money that could have been given to you via closing costs. Now I think I'm just rambling. So nevertheless, that's all I got for you today. Hopefully that was some decent information. If you have any questions, please give me a call. I'm more than happy to talk to you about interest rates for you on a personal level. And I'm happy to talk to you more with anything regarding economy or money. Thank you very much for listening. Ruben Chavez. Please remember, life's not meant to be. It's meant to create. Too strong.